that is no choice for Black America. And Antjuan, for you to be someone sitting on this television right now laughing and smiling at what I'm saying, it's disgraceful.
In this video, a Kamala Harris surrogate gets a brutal reality check. This is the Devori Darkins Show. Alrighty, so Kamala Harris is running for president, unfortunately, and her campaign has been really smart. They've been sending out what you would call a surrogate, meaning these are just puppets for her campaign to go out and speak on her behalf. And on the Trump side, they have those people too, but not at the same level that she has. And so this individual by the name of Antjuan Seawright goes on to Fox News and absolutely gets a brutal reality check about her policies and how they will not help the Black community and will not help Americans overall. And the way he just melts down over this is quite embarrassing. So without further ado, let's play the video.
You know, Kamala Harris and a lot of people are saying, hey, not a single vote and answering very few questions.
Well, I think that's intellectually dishonest to characterize the situation that way. 14 million Americans voted for she and Joe Biden to be our party's nominee
well, they
for
voted
president
for Joe Biden.
and vice president.
Not for her. They voted for Joe Biden.
Okay, again, let me finish my thought because I let you finish your thought. When you cast your vote in a primary for a pair, you know, in an emergency exit ramp situation, there's an assumption that the person you're running with will automatically elevate to the top of the ticket. Joe Biden decided to make Kamala Harris his endorsement priority when he exited the race. And the fact of the matter is the country has responded well. I don't have to remind you all on this panel, $310 million, $30+ million when she announced her running mate. 2/3 of those were first-time donors, $60 million by way of women, $20 million on Zoom. And you see in every battleground poll against Donald Trump and the Republicans, Democrats are starting to break through and have daylight. That's because she is qualified to be our party's nominee.
Giano Caldwell.
What's intellectually dishonest is to say that a raising amount of money makes someone qualified to be president. The truth of the matter is George Soros could put in hundreds of millions of dollars and then choose anybody. Yeah, please give me that time. You know what? As we think about this Kamala Harris, we've not heard any policy proposals from her on what's going to be the greatest considerations from Americans. Inflation, immigration, crime, an issue that's extraordinarily important to me after my brother was murdered June 24th, 2 years ago, and I created the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety, caldwellinstitute.org. What is her plans? What is her position? She chose an anti-Black VP candidate, someone who allowed rioters and looters to burn down Black businesses in Minnesota, someone who is more illegal immigrant than they are pro-Black. I don't understand how Democrats are so excited about this choice that is no choice for Black America. And Antjuan, for you to be someone sitting on this television right now laughing and smiling at what I'm saying, it's disgraceful. We need people in office who's going to serve the American people, not serve themselves. And that's what happened with Kamala Harris being chosen by oligarchs in the Democratic Party.
Okay, so 3 things. Number 1, how was she chosen as the Democratic nominee, right? The way she was chosen was basically back in deals, okay? It's the same way they got President Biden out of there. They obviously ran with what Nancy Pelosi wanted. President Obama was a part of that process. Chuck Schumer was a part of that process. Hakeem Jeffries was part of that process. And they got President Biden out of there. And President Biden, when he got out of there, he obviously endorsed her. So they're using the excuse because he made that endorsement. They had no choice but to go with her. And I find that to be laughable. I think that's just a ridiculous excuse. I don't think it has any truth to it. I think that they know what they're doing. I think they believe that a woman, a person of color, is the ultimate kryptonite to President Trump's campaign. And she absolutely is a person that can be controlled. So there's that. Second point about raising the money. It doesn't matter how much money she raised. Hillary Clinton raised $560 million back in 2016. Imagine how much money that is today. So, and she still lost. So they're using the whole, oh, we have all this money, we have all these people at the rallies, as a way to try to demoralize the opponent, which would be President Trump and his movement. But the fact of the matter is, fundraising does not mean you will get votes, okay? Smiling for the camera and laughing does not mean you're going to get votes. Sooner or later, you're going to have to define your policies, where you stand, and show how I'm going to take this country from point A to point B. And the third thing is Governor Tim Walz, who clearly has an issue in Minnesota. Understand something. When the riots did kick off, you know who was impacted the most besides the police precincts that went up in flames? It was the local businesses and black neighborhoods. People started to loot. People started to break the law. Police were not out there trying to stop anything because the school of thought at that point was, hey, we will not do anything to instigate or escalate. We'll just let people burn down this city and we'll deal with the aftermath. That's exactly what his mindset was. And he had to be pressured into sending the National Guard out there. So, and Governor Tim Walz is dealing with stolen valor issues as well. And he's an ultra progressive. He has admitted it. He has admitted socialism is a good thing. This is who she chose instead of choosing someone who's more moderate, close to the center, like a Josh Shapiro. Why is that so important? Is because the country, majority of the country, identify with a more moderate approach on all issues. So, of course, she didn't choose a moderate candidate. So let's continue.
Giano,
Yeah.
I think it's crazy as hell
Very
for you
quickly.
to sit here and act like there's not Republicans and bipartisan support for Kamala Harris. I also think it's intellectually dishonest, again, for you to say she's not talking about politics. You want to know a big difference in the policy agenda between she and Donald Trump? Allowing women to be trusted with their own healthcare decisions. You want to know a big policy difference?
That's
on
a
day
state
one.
We're gonna move on.
issue. It's
Antjuan.
understood. Every
Yeah,
state
it's
can
a-
decide. Come
It's
on.
a single
I'm
issue,
really
right?
beginning
That's
to
exactly
wonder.
right. Antoine, let me just go back to
I'm
Clay
beginning
Travis.
to-
Clay, yeah, go ahead.
Look, Donald
No,
Trump
I'm
has
beginning
been as
to wonder if
outspoken as
Antjuan
you
is
can possibly be that every state is going to have the right to decide what the law for abortion should be. That's what overturning Roe v. Wade did. So the idea that Donald Trump is doing something to take away women's rights isn't true at all. It's actually a flourishing of the democratic process. If you live in California,
we keep
you've
beating
got
up
more of a
the
right
ballot
to
box.
abortion than you did before. If you live in Illinois, if you live in New York, go get active on your local state level and decide, as many people have, what the law should be for abortion. It's actually the most democratic process imaginable. That's exactly what Trump has said. Kamala's trying to lie to everybody about the Handmaid's Tale, just like they tried to lie about COVID. They have to terrify everybody.
Oh, COVID
That's the
was a
only
lie?
way they get votes.
And Giano Caldwell, he makes a good
insane for you
point.
to say
Giano
COVID
Caldwell, hold
was a
on,
lie.
Antoine. Hold on. Antoine, hold one second. Giano Caldwell, to you, the point is that, Clay makes a very good point on this, is that's the way that it's set up after Roe v. Wade. The question becomes, Democrats are winning, are using this to win. They're using this issue because people are not really paying attention.
And that's what's really sad about this set of circumstances, that people aren't necessarily paying attention when this was what bipartisan support required for it to go back to the states. That was the consideration here. And now as I listen to Antjuan, as he spit his Democratic talking points, I wonder if he's getting his facts from the back of a cereal box, because it's not making quite sense to me and many other people that are watching this program right now. But I'll tell you, what we need to see from Kamala Harris is quite clearly, what are your policy positions? What is your position on the border? You where the borders are. You didn't do anything. What is your position on crime? You said we're going to defund the police. You put out a link to bail out those who were committing these crimes. What are your positions on some of these issues that have really impacted Americans, like inflation? We've not seen
gotta go.
that.
Okay, so you guys seen that. And let's cover two main things. First, the Democratic Party, they're very smart, okay? They have taken the Roe v. Wade conversation and have turned it into a campaign talking point that has been proven to be effective. So credit is where credit is due, even though it's not actually rooted in truth, okay? The Trump campaign, or President Trump, does not want to pass a national abortion ban. That is a fact. He's not calling for an all-out ban on abortion from day zero. That is a fact. And he is not trying to steal freedoms away from women. That is a fact. But the Democrat Party, they're very good at being deceitful, okay? They have you focused over here when they're the ones really doing what they say the other party is doing. So here's the bottom line about this first point. It is the most democratic way to handle such a sensitive issue, is put it closer to the people so they can vote on what they want. You can't have it both ways. If you want the federal government to pass a law that applies to all citizens, there's going to be people who feel like they're being violated. There's going to be people who feel like, hey, well, that is an infringement on my own rights. And there's a lot of people out there, and I'm one of them, it's an infringement on the right of the baby. So why do we want the government passing laws at the federal level on a baby who cannot speak for itself yet? And this is where it becomes a touchy subject, because some people do not believe it's a baby, it is a fetus. I call bullshit, because at the moment of conception, clearly it is a human being that is growing over time. But I digress. I really believe people lose out a lot of common sense around this abortion conversation. I really find it to be hilarious. Why would a woman get an abortion besides threat to her life, rape, or incest, when she has the Plan B pill that she could just take immediately within 24 to 48 hours of having intercourse? I don't understand why that's always left out of the conversation. I find that to be funny. And everybody who's listening, you know what I'm talking about. But no one ever brings that up. Now let's go to point number 2, the fear tactics. So right now they're using the fear that President Trump is going to take away women's rights to their body. And it's funny how they want rights for the woman, but not the rights for the baby. Funny, right? But they're trying to scare people into that. So remember, back in 2020, they tried to scare people into the fact that he was a threat to democracy, that he would burn this country down. In 2016, they tried to scare people into believing that he would take us to World War III, that he should not have access to the nuclear codes, right? This is what the Democrat Party will always do. They keep leaning on fear tactics, race conversations, gender conversations. That's what they lead with. They don't lead with policies. Now, as I wrap up this video, I really want to make this point, and I want to know what your guys' thoughts are about this. So definitely let me know what you think about it in the comments section. President Trump, the only weakness when it comes to President Trump's campaign is his personality. No matter which way you dice it, there's a lot of people that do not like his personality because they don't know him. They only know him based off what the news portrays him to be. There's that. And then the weakness of Harris and her campaign is she has zero policies. So I really do believe that the debate is going to be huge. I think everybody's going to watch the debate. It's going to be absolutely entertainment from the moment it kicks off. But I think that we will absolutely win this election in a landslide as long as President Trump attacks her policies. And whoever could be more effective at highlighting the weakness of the other opponent will probably win this election, because the people on the left, they're already in. The people on the right, they're already in. We're talking about the people in the center. And right now, the people in the center, they're getting bombarded by attack ads on President Trump's personality. And the Trump campaign, they're going to start attacking Harris's policies. And whoever's more effective will probably end up winning this election. So that's my mindset. What about you? What do you guys think about this clown, Antjuan, who goes on there? He tries to give the same old talking points that all Kamala Harris surrogates come up with. None of it is actually rooted in truth. All of it is just a basic gaslighting of the American people. And so I want to hear what your thoughts are. Answer that and more in the comment section below. Thank you for checking out the video today. Stay grateful, stay focused, and stay true. Peace.